The Vedic civilization flourished in ancient India from around 1500 to 600 BCE. This period marks a significant chapter in Indian history and laid the foundation for much of its cultural and spiritual heritage. The civilization was centered around the Indus River Valley and gradually spread eastward into the Gangetic Plains. This fertile region provided sustenance and shaped the lives of the early Vedic people. The Saraswati River, now dried up, held particular significance and is frequently mentioned in the Vedic texts. The Vedic period is divided into two main phases: the early Vedic period from 1500 to 1000 BCE and the later Vedic period from 1000 to 600 BCE. The early Vedic period is marked by the arrival of Indo-Aryan tribes into the Indian subcontinent. These tribes brought with them their language, culture, and religious beliefs, which gradually intermingled with the indigenous cultures. The later Vedic period saw the development of more complex social structures, philosophical ideas, and the composition of later Vedic texts. The climate of the region was generally warm and conducive to agriculture. The monsoon seasons played a vital role in the agricultural cycle, providing much-needed water for crops. The landscape varied from fertile plains to forested areas, providing resources for both farming and hunting. The rivers themselves became important trade routes and centers of cultural exchange. The transition from the early to the later Vedic period also saw a shift in the geographical center of the civilization. As the population expanded, settlements moved eastward towards the Gangetic Plains. This eastward migration led to further interactions with different cultures and contributed to the evolving nature of Vedic society. The establishment of larger kingdoms and more organized political structures became evident during the later Vedic period. The Vedas are a collection of sacred texts composed in Sanskrit, the ancient language of India. These texts form the bedrock of Hinduism and are considered to be divinely revealed. The word Veda means knowledge or wisdom, reflecting the profound insights they contain about the cosmos, humanity, and the divine. The Vedas are not a single book, but a compilation of hymns, prayers, rituals, philosophical treatises, and mythological narratives. There are four main Vedas: the Rig Veda, the Samaveda, the Yajur Veda, and the Atharva Veda. The Rig Veda, the oldest of the four, is a collection of hymns dedicated to various deities. The Samaveda consists of melodies and chants derived from the Rigveda, used in rituals and ceremonies. The Yajurveda contains prose mantras and formulas used by priests during sacrificial rites. The Atharva Veda is a collection of spells, charms, and incantations related to everyday life. Each Veda is further divided into four parts: Samhitas, hymns and mantras; Brahmanas, ritual manuals; Aranyakas, forest texts; and Upanishads, philosophical treatises. The Brahmanas provide detailed instructions for performing the complex rituals described in the Vedas. They explain the significance of each step and the specific mantras to be recited. The Aranyakas, often referred to as forest texts, delve into deeper philosophical and symbolic interpretations of the rituals. The Upanishads, the concluding part of the Vedas, explore profound philosophical questions about the nature of reality, the self, and the ultimate truth. They introduce the concepts of Brahman, the ultimate reality, and Atman, the individual self, and their interconnectedness. The Upanishads form the basis of Vedanta philosophy, a major school of thought within Hinduism. They laid the groundwork for later philosophical developments and continue to be studied and revered for their wisdom. Vedic religion centered around the worship of a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each representing different aspects of nature and the cosmos. Indra, the god of thunder and storms, was a prominent deity, along with Agni, the god of fire, and Surya, the sun god. Ritual sacrifices, known as yajnas, formed a crucial part of Vedic religious practice. These rituals involved offerings of food, ghee, and soma, a sacred drink, into the fire, accompanied by the chanting of Vedic mantras. The yajnas were performed by priests known as Brahmins, who held a high position in society. The rituals were believed to maintain cosmic order and ensure the well-being of the community. The fire altar, or Agnihotra, served as the central focus of these rituals. The rising smoke was seen as a symbolic connection between the earthly and heavenly realms. The performance of yajnas was often accompanied by the chanting of specific mantras from the Vedas. The Vedic people believed in the concept of karma and reincarnation. Karma, the principle of cause and effect, dictated that one's actions in this life would determine their fate in future lives. Reincarnation, the cycle of birth, death and rebirth, was seen as a continuous process until the individual soul achieved liberation, or moksha. The concept of dharma, or righteous conduct, played a significant role in guiding individuals towards a virtuous life. Following one's dharma was considered essential for maintaining social harmony and spiritual progress. The Vedic worldview encompassed a deep respect for nature and its elements. Rivers, mountains, trees and animals were often venerated as sacred. The concept of Rita, the cosmic order, emphasized the importance of maintaining balance and harmony in the universe. The Vedic hymns often express awe and reverence for the natural world and its intricate workings. The interconnectedness of all beings was a central theme in Vedic thought. Section 4. Society in the Vedic period. Vedic society was organized into 4 distinct classes, or varnas: Brahmins, priests, kshatriyas, warriors, vaishyas, merchants and farmers, and shudras, laborers. This social hierarchy, known as the varna system, became increasingly rigid over time. The Brahmins occupied the highest position due to their role in performing religious rituals and maintaining sacred knowledge. The kshatriyas were responsible for protecting the community and upholding law and order. The Vaishyas engaged in trade, agriculture and animal husbandry, forming the economic backbone of society. The Shudras performed manual labor and served the other 3 Varnas. This social stratification gradually solidified into a hereditary system, with individuals inheriting their social status from their parents. The concept of dharma played a crucial role in maintaining social order. Each Varna had its own specific dharma, or set of duties and responsibilities which they were expected to fulfill. Family life was highly valued in Vedic society. Patriarchal families were the norm, with the eldest male member holding authority. Marriage was considered a sacred union and was often arranged by families. Women played an important role in domestic life and were responsible for raising children and managing the household. Education was primarily oral, with knowledge being passed down through generations through storytelling and recitation of Vedic hymns. The later Vedic period saw the emergence of larger kingdoms and more complex political structures. Kings performed elaborate rituals to legitimize their rule and ensure the prosperity of their kingdoms. Assemblies known as sabhas and samitis played a role in advising the king and making decisions. The concept of kingship gradually evolved from tribal chieftains to powerful rulers. The administrative system became more organized, with officials responsible for collecting taxes and maintaining law and order. Section 5. Daily life in the Vedic Age. Daily life in the Vedic period revolved around agriculture and animal husbandry. People cultivated crops such as barley, wheat and rice using simple tools and techniques. Cattle were highly valued both for their economic importance and their religious significance. Cows were considered sacred and were often offered as sacrifices in religious rituals. Milk and milk products formed an essential part of the Vedic diet. People lived in simple houses made of wood, mud and thatch. Clothing was made from natural fibers such as cotton and wool. Music and dance played an integral role in social and religious life. The Vedic hymns were often accompanied by musical instruments such as the veena, a stringed instrument, and the flute. Storytelling and recitation of epic poems were popular forms of entertainment. Food was simple and primarily vegetarian, consisting of grains, vegetables, fruits, and dairy products. Meat was consumed occasionally, especially during sacrificial rituals. People cooked their food over open fires or in clay ovens. Water was drawn from wells or rivers. Hygiene and cleanliness were valued and people bathed regularly. Healthcare was based on herbal remedies and traditional practices. Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine, has its roots in the Vedic period. Social gatherings and festivals were common occasions for celebration and community bonding. People would gather to share meals, sing, dance, and listen to stories. Religious festivals were marked by special rituals and offerings. These occasions provided opportunities for social interaction and reinforced community ties. The Vedic people valued hospitality and welcomed guests into their homes. To Section 6, the enduring legacy of the Vedas. The Vedic civilization left a profound and lasting impact on Hinduism and Indian culture. The Vedas continue to be revered as the most sacred texts in Hinduism, and their teachings form the foundation of Hindu philosophy and religious practice. The concepts of karma, reincarnation, dharma, and moksha, which originated in the Vedic period, remain central to Hindu belief. The Vedic rituals and traditions have evolved over time but still hold significance in modern Hindu religious practices. The Varna system, although criticized for its hierarchical nature, has influenced social structures in India for centuries. The Vedic emphasis on education and the pursuit of knowledge has contributed to a rich intellectual tradition in India. Sanskrit, the language of the Vedas, has had a profound impact on the development of many Indian languages. It continues to be used in Hindu religious ceremonies and is studied as a classical language. The Vedic literature, with its rich mythology, philosophy, and poetry, has inspired countless works of art, music, and literature throughout Indian history. The Vedic civilization represents a formative period in Indian history, shaping its religious, social, and cultural landscape. Its legacy continues to resonate in modern India, influencing its values, beliefs, and traditions. The Vedas, with their timeless wisdom, provide a window into the intellectual and spiritual world of ancient India and continue to inspire generations.